In a three-match series, a good start is vital, and English hopes were high following a defeat of India and some erratic cricket played by the Pakistanis in their warm-up matches. Pakistan won the toss and chose to bat, and the formidable left-handed opening partnership of Amir Sohail and Zahid Anwar walked out to get the series underway.
Oh, that must be close. No shot played, and that's out. Simon Brown gets his first wicket in Test cricket with his 10th ball in Test cricket, and it's a big prize too. Amir Sohail. Oh, over they go. Clatter of stumps shatters the rather tense start to the day, and Ijaz Ahmed's gone.
That's typical Inzamam stroke.
England's great start was undermined by Inzamam al-Haq, who unleashed a fierce array of attacking shots which wrestled the advantage from England.
Nothing wrong with that. Oh, fine shot. Even despite the ring of cover fielders, no one anywhere near that. Confidently thumped away through the offside, and it takes Inzamam to 50. Oh, that's found the gap. So after a couple of attempts to find the holes in this field, Zahid Anwar succeeds.
Anwar's fine innings of 74 was cut short by Graham Hick, but Inzamam was undaunted and moved serenely to a glorious century.
No problems there either.
Mullally, he needs to be 12 feet tall, not 6. 100 up, nice way to do it. A century for Inzamam. What a beautiful stroke.
When you start the tour, if you first test match, you played the century, this is good for your whole series. And especially in Lords, this is a dream for any batsman.
England plugged away and gained some reward for their perseverance late in the day.
Alan Mullally's first wicket of the day.
Gone, got him. That's well done by Alan Mullally. 9 down now.
Then, as in South Africa, England were frustrated by the 10th wicket pairing.
Certainly that was a very flat wicket at Lords, and we'd done well to take 7 or 8 wickets on that first day. The last one held us up.
They've come in and done a job for their country, and they did it well. And it's a type of thing that you'd always encourage your 9, 10, 11 to hang around, playing partnerships just to put some runs on. They did it well for them, which wasn't good for us.
England's first innings was always a struggle, although Knight can consider himself unlucky with his decision, having made a good 51, and Thorpe batted well for 77.
Beautifully played. That's Thorpe's 50.
The most worrying sight for England was Waqar Younis bowling with all his old venom.
Bowled him. Perfect Yorker.
It's just a matter of rhythm, you know. I mean, when the rhythm comes, everything is there, and when you lose a rhythm, it's always a problem. So I'm in my rhythm, and I'm getting to the pitch very quickly, which is the main thing what I do with my bowling. So I'm doing quite well.
Out, he's gone.
Yeah, they got the ball to reverse when the ball got old, and Waqar's no mug at knocking over the tail.
Leading by 55 from the first innings, Pakistan pressed home their advantage on the third afternoon. With Amir Sohail injured in the field, Zahid Anwar opened with 18-year-old debutant Shadab Kabir and smashed 88 out of an opening partnership of 138.
Good stroke. Went in the air, but it was between fielders, no problem at all. It was a good shot.
Ijaz Ahmed and Inzamam cashed in on the flat pitch, and both made useful 70s as England bowlers suffered.
Very, very good shot. He's a good hooker. Very good square of the wicket player, Ijaz. Beautiful stroke. Gives the substitute fielder the opportunity to go and pick up the ball, but that was a terrific blow.
When the declaration came at 352 for 5, 4 sessions remained and all hopes of an England win had gone. Knight was LBW to Wacker for 1, but Alex Stewart dug in and with his captain saw out the day without further loss.
Nice stroke for 4.
Nobody down there at third man, so that'll be 4 runs.
At lunch on the last day, the pair were still together and both players were well set, but trouble was right round the corner.
We've done particularly well for 2 sessions. We've lost 1 wicket, and whilst there was still work to be done, we seemed to be in control. The ball was getting older, and that's very significant. The pitch was tailor-made for Pakistan to bowl on. It was very bare, dry pitch. The ball would scuff very easily, and there's an optimum time when it started to swing and swing alarmingly. Very, very difficult to play.
And it's one again, that's comprehensive. Well, there's absolutely no doubt whatsoever about that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Waqar's swing was unplayable. I thought we gifted him a few wickets. Certainly Mushtaq bowled very well on a wearing pitch.
Oh, it's bowled in.
I would expect a leg spinner on day 5 on a wearing pitch to have some influence on the game. He is a pleasant bowler, but the damage was done by the quick man.
Caught him. It looked like the old Jack Russell leave shot. 182 for 6.
Oh, he's made a mess of that. Both of them have, actually, but in different context. Well bowled. Good quicker ball. Yes, giving him LBW. Well, it looked as though it got a bit of bounce as well as being a faster ball. He's given that, but I'm not too sure that Mullally is overjoyed about it. It looked like the wrong one. Salisbury has strike. He can take it on to the tea interval. No, he can't. That's it. Attempting the little paddle around, and congratulations come from the 2 England batsmen to all the Pakistan players, and that is a very good win. And the man on the centre of your screen there, Wasim Akram, deserves high credit. He skippered them very, very well out there.
So in the end, Pakistan ran out convincing victors. England's brave new world was unhinged by lack of penetration in the bowling, and their batting frailty was underlined by the world-class skills of Waqar Younis and Mushtaq Ahmed.
1 down in the 3-match series, and England went to Headingley hoping for a grassy pitch and the chance to take on Pakistan in typically English conditions.
What in fact confronted the teams was a bare strip, which at least looked sure to last the distance.
I'm new to the job, so there are things that you find out. You know, it's a suck it and see situation. With being new to the job, I found out very quickly that I have no jurisdiction on the wickets that we play on in England at all. When I've played abroad and I've seen cricket abroad, I would know that there'd be a 60-40 advantage for the home team.
Andy Caddick of Somerset replaced Simon Brown in a 4-man seam attack, and after a run of poor scores, Graham Hick was left out in favour of Nasser Hussain, who returned from injury. The game plan was to bowl first, and after winning the toss, it was vital to dismiss Pakistan cheaply.
Brave decision. 4 quick bowlers, Headingley, our mid-in if you like, our track. We bowl well for a spell, and then bowl poorly for a spell. And we really needed in that situation to pick 4, maybe 5 wickets up if you're a bit greedy or you get lucky. We grabbed the last one in the last over to get 2 down.
In the first inning, I just went in, because, I was seaming a bit, especially first couple of hours. So I said if there's any loose ball, they give it to me, I will go for it. I was very positive in the first inning.
Well, playing the shot again, getting runs for it this time, 4 of them.
Oh, it's a top edge. I think it's safe. Oh, it's gone for 6.
And it's fatal to drop it short.
This time it's straight down the ground. And this is a very dangerous time for England. Ijaz in such fine form.
That's a clatter. That's over the ground. It's definitely 6.
Well, you've got to be looking to bowl the majority of the side out on the first day for 250 thereabouts. Even if we'd have caught the catch on the first over of the second morning, we could have still knocked him over for 320, 330, and given that we got 500 odd, got in a really strong position in the match.
Dropped it. Oh, that's bad for England. Mullally is the man.
On the second day, the England bowlers were made to pay the price for their lack of previous success. Asif Mushtaba moved to a fine 50, but it was wicketkeeper Moin Khan who frustrated them most with his third Test 100.
Yeah, I was actually struggling with my keeping a bit. Then I started concentrating on my batting to get in the team again. So when I get the chance, I was feeling very good. And I think I did well. And I was thinking about the 100. And I already made it 200 before that Test century. So I'm quite happy. And I was thinking to play my natural game. That's what I did. And I was very thankful to God. He helped me a lot in that Test match.
448 was a daunting total, but Alex Stewart took the game by the scruff of the neck, being particularly harsh on Waqar Younis.
Well, he's come back well. He had a bit of a struggle by his own accord account in the South Africa, and he's played much better now. He's come back, he's scored consistently. When he scores runs, he scores them attractively, and so he's obviously a good man to have for us.
Hussain and Crawley both gave useful support, but Stewart was unstoppable, reviving memories of his form the last time Pakistan toured in 1992.
Stewart has to negotiate. Wasim Akram comes for two, turns now, and there it is. 100 for Alex Stewart. Well played indeed.
At Headingley, it's the best I've played for a while. Obviously nice to get a big 100, and as you say, you know, it was important that we got a big score. It's important that we avoided the follow-on to begin with, which we did, and then it's our aim to get as close to them, if things went really well, to go past them. And all those things worked out. Obviously I got 100, Nick Knight played exceptionally well, batting at 6, and was well supported by other players, John Crawley included.
When Stewart finally fell for 170, he'd found another willing ally in Nick Knight, now being asked to bat at number 6.
Well, overnight, to be 50 not out, and I thought, well, you know, Jack, obviously the lads down the order can bat very well, and I thought, well, if we can just hang around and get some partnerships together, then, you know, you never know. And Jack got out reasonably quickly, and then, but once we managed to get ourselves some partnerships, it was just a case of sticking in there, and the lads play well with me, so. You know, fortunately I edged closer and then got the score. Got a bit giddy, didn't I?
Yeah, he played very well, I thought. You know, to get a maiden 100 against that kind of attack, in a position he might not be used to batting. It was a good performance, it was good for him, a left-hander, you know, to play the swing, and Mushtaq's good to have a left-hander coming in at number 6. I think at Headingley, the top 6 looked a good unit. I thought we played positively, we scored at a good rate, and it gave us time to have another crack at the Pakistan side. And you have to remember we lost 2 hours as well for rain on the Sunday evening, and that could have been costly as well.
With a lead of only 53, an England win was unlikely, especially when rain wiped out 38 overs on the 4th afternoon, but Ijaz dug in to make sure of the draw.
And the second inning when I went in, you know, and I decided, you know, team need me this time to be a defensive player, you know, so I went in, so I started blocking, you know, we lost 3-4 wickets early on, but still I didn't lose my mind, you know, and didn't lose my heart. I said I will stay there and I will save the game. And I believe, which is the 50 runs I got in the second inning, that was better than 141.
Meanwhile, Inzamam took the opportunity to show off his full repertoire of shots, hitting 9 fours in a blistering 65, which took his side to safety.
That's 4 more. Well, not what it deserved.
The only other memorable moment on the last day was a rare wicket for Michael Atherton as the game meandered to a draw. When play was finally called off, thoughts had long since turned to the final test at the Oval.
Ahmed, and the match here at Headingley, the second of the Cornhill tests, has finished in a draw. Pakistan still lead the series 1-0.
So, for the second time in 3 years, England went into the last test at the Oval needing to win to square the series. And Ray Illingworth, presiding over his last test as chairman of selectors, sprung an early surprise. Andy Caddick, impressive at Headingley and who'd bowled well at the Oval in the NatWest quarter-final, was left out in favour of Chris Lewis, whose early season promise had somewhat waned in recent weeks. Perhaps local knowledge saved the Surrey bowler, but whatever, England went in with 2 spinners, Robert Croft winning his first cap. Mike Atherton won the toss and decided to take first use of a rock-hard strip. Wasim Akram soon extracted some real life from it, hitting Atherton on the shoulder with a perfect bouncer. Alex Stewart, fresh from his 170 at Headingley, dominated the opening stand of 64, and on 44 not out, the Surrey man was well set on his home patch when he played an ugly shot against Mushtaq.
There you are. Misready. That's out.
Atherton went after lunch for 31, getting too far across to Waqar Younis, but Graham Thorpe continued his good form this summer till his impressive 54 ended, perhaps unluckily, against Mohammad Akram.
He's out now. That one seemed to go through low from Mohammad Akram.
And so through came John Crawley. Once the subject of puppy fat jokes, Crawley Mark II is leaner, more aerodynamic, and no longer a predominantly leg-side player. As if to prove it, he beautifully cover-drove Mushtaq for 3 fours in an over.
Four more. That's the third time it's over. And they've all been high-quality shots from John Crawley. Oh, that's beaten him. That's a remarkable shot from John Crawley.
Crawley's maiden Test century had to wait till the Friday, and Friday afternoon at that, after heavy rain prevented any play till 2:15. But then a turn through mid-wicket, and Crawley was there.
99. Yes, yes, they shout. Run 4. Well played, John Crawley. First century in Test match cricket. Beautifully taken. Full of good sense and defence.
He went in the same over to Waqar Younis, and after that came some real entertainment.
This fella's running everywhere and pointing, but no one is making... I don't think he's pleased, but he is.
Mullally's long handle wrought 24 off 12 balls, but 326 all out was at least 75 short of par for the course. Pakistani batsmen liked the Oval. 708 they rattled up 9 years ago, and Saeed Anwar was soon dazzling the crowd with his wristy offside play.
That's through the legs of Nasser Hussain. Delicate late cut. And 4 runs.
At least debutant Robert Croft bowled with some control, and Amir Sahel presented the Glamorgan man with his first wicket.
Caught him. Brilliant.
That, though, failed to stem the flow of runs. David Lloyd later admitted it was England's poorest day of the summer, and Saeed Anwar's century duly arrived as Ijaz Ahmed made his way to 50. The third morning brought no respite for England. Salisbury and Lewis continued to struggle. Salisbury withdrawn with overall figures of 17 overs, none for 91. Lewis's 12 overs going for 76 as Pakistan went to 318 for 2 at lunch.
Gorgeous shot. Perfectly balanced. Such excellent balance from this little player.
Fetch that back. Oh, better still get someone to throw it back. Really threw everything at that. That could be the shot of the game.
It rained during the lunch interval, and that seemed to freshen up the pitch in the 42 minutes that were possible afterwards. Inzamam was caught a deep square leg, and on the same score, 334, the flamboyant Saeed Anwar's 176 ended with a spliced pull to mid-on. He batted over 6 hours and hit 26 memorable fours, and had also survived a shove in the back from Cork, who later apologised for his actions. Sunday began in extraordinary fashion. A puncher met Chris Lewis turned up at the Oval just 35 minutes before play started, and he was promptly dropped from the one-day squad to play Pakistan the following week. Lewis responded by showing why he's an asset to any one-day side, his lovely pick-up and throw running out Asif Mushtaba. Robert Croft got the ball to turn again, and he can look forward to a busy winter with the senior side. Stewart's sharp work bringing his second wicket as Wasim just strayed out of his ground. But Salim Malik determinedly bore down on his 14th Test century, and when he got there, Pakistan declared 195 ahead.
Yes, a lot of applause there for Salim Malik, an even 100, and then the declaration. 5:21 for 8 And once again, a good, even-looking scoreboard all the way down with the 2 century makers.
Wacker and Wasim tore in during the remaining 23 overs of the day. Wasim again almost pinned his fellow Lancastrian Atherton, but Stewart, who'd had to take some evasive action himself, met fire with fire as England reached 74 without loss at the close. The last test day of the summer was to be a cruel rerun for England of the Lord's encounter. 10 minutes after lunch, England seemed well on course to save the game. Mike Atherton, not at his best, had already gone and taken out his frustrations on the dressing room door. And Alex Stewart was also back in the pavilion after his 20th half-century for his country. But at 166 for 2, all seemed well.
Played that all right. It's again behind square, but 4 runs. He's got a very good eye, Nasser Hussain.
Then Graham Thorpe pushed forward at Mushtaq Ahmed, and England collapsed.
Beautifully done. That's a great delivery. Graham Thorpe didn't pick that.
The leg spinner took the first 5 wickets. Hussain may have had cause for some complaint. Wasim Akram bowled with real ferocity. First innings centurion Crawley amongst his victims. And between them they ran through the middle order.
Yes! And that's it. They succeeded. 5 wickets for Mushtaq Ahmed.
Ball in.
Well, I don't know how you play that. W.G. Grace, Jacobs, Garfield Sobers and Bradman. I think you're going to have a problem playing that.
Gone this time.
The Pakistani skipper's 300th Test wicket came courtesy of an extravagant Alan Mullally swish.
That's it. 300 Test wickets for Wasim Akram. England all out for 242. And the tactics that worked for Alan Mullally in the first innings, nothing like as successful in the second.
England had lost their last 8 wickets for 76 runs. Mushtaq had bowled unchanged throughout the day to finish with 6 for 78. Atherton, a part-time leg spin himself, could only watch and practice. And Pakistan had just 48 to win. That took just 40 balls. Pakistan had won the series 2-0. Mushtaq was deservedly named man of the series. The Pakistani reputation was restored after their last difficult visit to England. And the Ray Illingworth era had ended in crushing disappointment.